Howdy on Moglox Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. Okay. So, just sorting through my stuff here. I think I am ready to build some more farmland. I got 2 more potato seeds. It's called farm plot. Yep. So I got the wood. I need rotting flesh, nitric powder, and clay soil. I don't have enough clay soil, so we gotta go do some digging. So it turns out can't put an 8x scope on this rifle, which is a shame. I like a scope on my rifle. And I don't have the steel to put together the next rifle up, which had been my plan. Oh. Nice. Took a lot of bullets, but nice. Big old bar. I mean, if he's just gonna pop up next to my base, right? I might as well take advantage of it. So, man, so last night was our D&D game, and we did play. We also rolled for new characters for the upcoming games, and it's interesting to me rolling for new characters. So since the other guy said he would run a campaign as well, I got to roll up some characters last night, and our DM, right, he's rolling up characters. Now, he's crazy when it comes to rolling up characters. And I don't mean, like, coming up with crazy combinations. I mean, like, he's like... So we roll, and we use an easier system of rolling. We do 4d6, drop the lowest, which, you know, lets you get some pretty good stats. And your stats are made up of is it six numbers? I think it's 6. And so the idea is that you can roll. All right, so I need rotten flesh, nitrate powder, and wood. I think that's what I need. Yeah. Cool, I can make 3 of them. And so, like, there's different ways to do it. There's standard, which I think is just roll 3d6 6 times. There's point buy, which gives you a certain number of points that you spend on your stat points. I don't remember exactly how point buy works, but I know it's like stats are worth 1 point, but then as you get higher and higher in the stat, it costs more and more points. And then there's standard array, which is they give you numbers. Oh, you know what? I wanted to put this thing on. They give you numbers, and then those are the numbers that you get to to choose from. Gotta get my bandolier in place. 15% faster. Reloads. And and then the one we use is wait. Why is there an edge around this? Why aren't you... Oh no, did I... Yeah, there's just the farm plot. Why is this farm plot different from that farm plot? Also, why did I put him where I put him? Can I pick these back up? Yes. I got my potatoes going in here, and then I... That's weird. And then they're like, I don't know why they're separate from those other farm plots. Why are they connected to their farm plots, but not those farm plots? Because they were empty? Must be. Alright, so that makes me feel better. Why don't we have water on here? Oh, you don't have any fuel, that's why. Let's go ahead and take that. That's going to be useful. So I do want to get the supplies together to see about making this better rifle. The tactical assault rifle. But I need 10 forged steel, and I have 8. So I've got to get out there and find more forged steel. Alright. So I think we're pretty good there. But yeah, so he's like... He drives me crazy. As you can tell from the numerous stories I've told. So he's got this thing, right, where he has to have the best stats. And he has to keep his guy away from danger. And, you know, I just want to roll and see what happens and make a character and go. And, so last night we roll, right? I'm like, oh yeah, those are decent enough stats. And I got like an 8 and a 7, and the rest of them were in the teens. And I'm like, all right, so that makes a oh, let's crack a book. I probably should travel. I guess let's go up there. I hate going up there though. Let's go over here. There's a good road that connects to that other place. I need to go find, like, I don't know, garages, maybe? And look for forged steel in those. But, so he does this thing where he's decided somewhere in there he read something that if you're having your players roll, and their roll is less than the standard array, then they should get to use the standard array instead. That is a possibility. The thing is that you get like a 16 or 17 or each of those, and then a couple of low stats, and it might pull you below the standard array. But your character is still going to be alright. It just means they're not good at everything. And he can't stand that. So he was adding the numbers together and looking at how many points are in the standard array, and he's like, I think we should get... I'm like, no, not for my campaign. You get what you rolled. We already did the D4 thing. Your stats aren't that bad. What do you got? One bad stat? do you really think that your wizard needs high strength? I mean, you're not a blade singer or something. Um, and then he did the same thing again when we rolled for the other campaign. He was like, "Well, I think we should. I'm pretty sure these numbers are below." I'm like, "My numbers are close enough. But your numbers are below." I'm like, "It's fine, man. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with having a middle of the pack fighter. I don't understand. I got a 14 and another 14. That's good. Strength and constitution. The rest can be low. It's fine." So yeah. But other than that, it wasn't too crazy last night. I thought I thought I was gonna be like, oh man, we played last night, nothing really happened, and then we get toward the end. Man. So he had actually read ahead, because he thought we were gonna work on this magic castle last week, and we didn't. And so he knew what was in the magic castle. And so since we didn't go straight into it last week, he had time to. Why is your stamina so low at the moment? Get up there. He had time to look at things, and so he can be one of those annoying people who doesn't think about other people's time. And so last night he sends me a message at like 6:30. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm still working. And he's like, "Hey, I already read the comics, so I'm ready to start." Okay, well, good for you. But, some of us had to work yesterday. And so I just ignored him. And so my low stats are driving me crazy. Why our stamina? Why do you have such low stamina today? Is it because I have a bruised knee? I just wanted in this garage. Listen, you're not how I'm getting in the garage, okay? And so, so we go into this castle, and we're looking around, and we run into this guy, and it's a monster. It's a constructed monster, called a homunculus, and so it's basically a built servant by the wizard who owns the castle. Well, it turns out there's a dragon, some kind of weird trickster dragon in the castle, and it has taken over the castle in the absence of the wizard who built the castle. And so this thing wants us to kill that dragon and make its life better. And so we agreed to do so, and he gave our rogue this helmet that belonged to the wizard. And the helmet in the book makes you immune to damage as long as you're inside the castle. Well, he can't have that, right? he can't have one of us immune to damage while we're in the castle, so he changed it. And so he changed it from immune to damage while in the castle to can see invisible creatures if you cast the ability on it, and there's 10 charges. Or no, there were unlimited charges, but it only lasts for 10 minutes at a time. And it only works inside the castle, just like the helm's supposed to. And so I'm like, okay. So then, then we get to the part that I'm just like, this is what makes me angry about playing with this guy. We're in a room, and we come out of the room, so we're facing out of the room. Now this dragon is not little. This dragon is 10 feet wide and tall. 10 feet. And so it does this thing where it okay, this is, dang it, one of us is either got, that guy just hit me, he wasn't even swinging at me. Weird. This is what I was looking for, though. The treasure. Knuckle wraps. Ooh, machete part. I don't use a machete. I guess it's an upgrade to my knife, though. And so, we come out of the room, and somehow, even though our guy can see rifle parts, nice. Even though our guy can see invisible creatures, the thing sprays one of us with this euphoria spray, which is basically a stun. Just stand there and can't do nothing until you succeed. And succeed a saving throw. And well, I didn't get what I was after, but it's not a terrible reward. Okay, we'll just get out of here and go find the next place with a garage. Oh man, I'm hungry again. Okay, there we go. I was like, how did I get in here? I don't even remember. So we're like, and he's like, it appears for a second and then it disappears and you don't know where it went. And I'm like, okay, I don't know where it went, but the other guy's rogue is wearing the helmet that lets him see invisible, and you changed it so that it was always on, because he did change it after he decided that maybe that was too big of a nerf in his head. And we're like, so how did it A, approach us unseen, and B, how did it get away unseen? And he's like, what do you mean? It was stealthing. I'm like, it's an empty hallway. You can't stealth in an empty hallway. There's nothing for it to hide behind. It's 10 feet tall. Oh, dang, I was excited there for a second. Whew, I thought that was going to be it. My 2 metal ingots that I need. And he's like, well, it's stealth. It rolled really good on its stealth. I'm like, you can't stealth in an empty hallway. This isn't a hard concept. This is how the game works. You can't hide if there's nothing to hide behind. He's enforced that rule on our rogue before. So it's not like it's a new rule that just popped up. In fact, he threw a fit because we tried to hide behind boxes one time, which is in the rules. and didn't want us to get extra cover, so we've given up on doing the cover thing because he never applies it to us. He only applies it when we try to attack something. Oh, you didn't roll high enough this time because it's in partial cover. I'm like, well, we're also in partial cover. Well, no, you're not. You're over there, and those boxes aren't big enough to protect you, but the boxes that the bad guys are behind are big enough to protect them. I'm like, oh, okay. And so he's like, no, it rolled really good on its stealth. I checked it against your passive perception. I'm like, I get that some of us wouldn't have known it was coming. I'm not saying that some of us wouldn't have known it was coming, but you didn't tell the rogue that it was coming. The rogue can see it, but it was stealthed. It can't stealth in an empty hallway. It could stealth its footsteps. I'll grant it that. I guess you can stealth your smell. I'd give it that even, but you can't hide a 10-foot dragon in a 10-foot wide hall with nothing for it to hide behind. Like, it was at the other end of the hall, and there were some boxes or something, and it took a surprise attack against us. I can understand that. But you're telling us that it came down the hallway, sprayed my character in the face, and then went back down the hallway, and we weren't supposed to be able to see it, but he's got on a helmet that lets him see invisible creatures. Do you see the problem here? And so it took us a bit. I was dumbfounded. Usually we're like, no, doesn't the rule work this way? And then we'll discuss the rule. No, he was adamant that his 10-foot tall dragon was hiding in an empty hallway because he rolled good on stealth. And so he also did this thing where at first, since he decided that it got away, he was like, yeah, your guy can roll roll a d6. So roll a d6. I got a 5. He's like, all right, so roll a saving throw. And I rolled a saving throw, and I got really low. And he's like, all right, go ahead and roll a d6 again. And I'm like, what? He's like, well, this lasts for a minute. I'm like, okay. I'm like, but we're not in combat. I'm not going to roll every round. I'm just going to stand here and wait for the minute to go up. Seriously, a minute's not that long. It is in combat. It's extremely long in combat. But if you're not in combat, a minute is, a minute. And so then we went back into combat, and then I remember to do my saving throws because I do stick to the rules 99.9% of the time. Sometimes if we get to the point where I'm irritated enough, I will, if I take that back with me, I can make another bicycle. I have handlebars too. I'll get to the point where I'm just like, ugh, all right, fine. You don't want to follow the rules? I'm not going to follow the rules. Yeah, that wasn't even the one that made me the angriest. Like, that was just, dude, think about this. Use your brain. You're supposed to be smart. Use your brain. So then it runs upstairs, and as it's running upstairs, it casts suggestion on the rogue and tells him to go back to his friends. And the rogue had already taken his turn, so not not my character that's currently stupefied, or whatever it was called. Yeah, I don't know what it was called. They all ran forward, and he's like, well, you wouldn't have seen it. I'm like, I know I wouldn't have seen it. And the rogue is like, does this stop me from talking about it? And he's like, no. He's like, all right, well, I'll tell him that it went up the stairs. I'm like, all right, well, then I'm going to run for the stairs. And so I run up the stairs, and it had already taken its turn. Okay. Oh. Come on. It had already taken its turn. I almost died there. Which means that all it can do at this point is saved its action, which I'm fine with. That is a thing. It could have prepared an action. It's not saving your action. You have to determine what it's going to do. Obviously, he's not going to determine what it's going to do, but you're supposed to determine what it does before, and if that gets triggered, then it happens. And so, so my guy runs up the stairs, and he says that it sprayed him in the face. Fine, I'm fine with that. It went up the stairs, although I might not be as fine depending on where it actually went to. Since it was invisible, he didn't have it on the map for us to see, and he does all this rolling somewhere else that we can't see it, and then just tells us the numbers, which I don't enjoy, and because I know he's cheating sometimes, and I made more machete parts. All right. Now the garage looted. How did I get up here? And so, thanks. So, I try to attack it. I was, oh good, I fell and hurt my knee again. I was, this place is under construction. Do you think maybe a construction site would have some steel in it? I need to be careful though, because I'm getting low on the healths. And so I use my action and my movement to run 60. Well, I didn't quite get 60 feet, and it sprayed me in the face, and so I had to roll a saving throw. But I rolled really high that time, and so it didn't phase me. And so of course I want to attack, and I've got an ability called Action Surge that lets me take another turn, basically. And so I, not a full turn, just another action. So I Action Surge, and I attack. And I attack twice, and I miss twice. Whatever, I'm fine with that. Well, then the next character runs up the stairs, and it's not there. So somehow it got into position to do a 5-foot attack, which is a standard melee attack, and then made that attack and then ran away, not on its turn, which is not something that you can do. And It's one of the reasons that we have to keep confronting him about the rules. It's because he doesn't follow them. And I didn't say anything. I was just so irritated at that point. And it was like the last thing that we did. So it's still alive, because the other guy had to go. And man, I do love having it. Oh. I do love having a gun. I thought that was that wolf. Pretty sure that wolf's killed me a few times. So, yeah, it was super, super irritating. I hate it. I hate invisible creatures. Anything that can be invisible, he makes invisible. Everything runs away from us. Nothing ever fights us, ever. We have to chase it down all the time. It's super annoying. And then he doesn't follow the rules half the time for the creatures, which is super annoying. But yeah, so we did get through that last night. Well, we got, to that point last night. I guess we didn't get through nothing. But we also rolled our characters. And of course, he's like, so, can we use variant rules? And like, what do you mean? They had a new book come out this week. And it has new variant rules on how, oh man, on how the characters are created. And so I wasn't sure what he meant by that. And so what he meant was they'll just let you shift your stats around. The way the game is set up is that each of the races basically has specific rules. I don't even know what this is. A shotgun duckbill. Oh, it says right there. Okay. I see. I believe that's the one that makes the spread out more. It's a muzzle choke, but it spreads the bullets, the pellets from birdshot out more. Nice. Ooh, 21 and 3 slots. I feel like I know I was trying to get to this, which requires an elect a 10. Which I guess is okay. But I'd also still like to get some points into where is, here we go, machine gunner. Let's go ahead and get a point into machine gunner now, since I've got my machine gun going. But yeah, I just don't know sometimes. But yes, we got our characters rolled, and we got, I'm going to try the new barbarian. I've never played a barbarian before. They didn't interest me. But then they added a couple of new barbarian classes. Well, I'll play a new barbarian if our other guy allows it, because it's his campaign, and we kind of rolled while he was there, but then we created our classes after he left, and we didn't discuss what was allowed. So I do need to check in with him. I'm sure he'll be fine with it. Yeah. All right, well, here I'm going to end it. So be better than the small things. Lean to the light. I will talk to you later.